Hi, it's Pete with the Backroom Comics podcast. Sitting to my right is one Mr. Brandon Jerwa.
Hi,
How are you today?
I am Peachy, Pete.
Love it. So, Brandon, what I've decided to do, rather than any real preparation for comic interviewing,
I appreciate that.
none of that gotcha journalism here,
No.
we've decided to go with Wikipedia journalism. And what I want to do is put creator against the internet.
Wow.
Find out what's true, what's not true. Let's get real for a moment.
Is there anything about that farm in Kansas that year?
Oh yeah, I got a whole bunch of it.
I would like to just go on record, arrested but never charged. It's an important delineation to make. Arrested but never charged.
So it doesn't count.
That's
doesn't
right.
count.
That's
Actually,
right.
the first thing that jumps out to me
Yes.
is before he began his career in comics, Jerwa was a morning DJ at Rocket 107.
That is true.
You want to relive some Rocket days?
Sure. This would have been in the late 90s, and the local classic rock radio station was Rocket 107. A friend of mine was the evening drive time DJ. He invited me on his show one night, and we took calls. And we were just, cracking jokes and, being wise asses. And the phone started ringing off the hook. And over the next few days, they got more and more phone calls. Hey, are those guys going to be on again? So they put me on again as a guest. Same thing happened. So they, about 2 weeks later, called and asked me if I would like to be the new drive time guy while my buddy moved up to mornings. And I said, sure, okay. And the radio station, of course, was called Rocket 107, and they said, you're going to need an on-air name. And I literally was reading a 1970s Avengers comic. And I looked down, and I was like, Iron Man, no. Wonder Man, no. Vance Astro. I'll be Vance Astro on Rocket 107. And the next week, I started as the afternoon guy. About a month later, they fired my friend and made me the morning guy. And there are people still in that area of Washington who will see me and call me Vance. They don't know that I have another name. And the ratings kind of went up in that market for that period of time. And I had sort of a Howard Stern type persona without being so dirty, more sarcastic and mean.
Totally fine.
And it became kind of a thing. I would do crazy stunts. I jumped out of an airplane with a cell phone strapped to my chest and broadcast live all the way down. The entire broadcast was, but I lived on the roof of a grocery store to raise 4 tons of canned food.
Okay, when you say lived,
Literally 24/7 until I raised the amount of canned food I needed. I did it 2 years in a row. And I had a little tent, and I had a transmitter, and I would transmit live on the radio 24 hours a day. Like, I would break in. They had spots for me to break in and talk and tell people I was there.
and potty breaks?
Bathroom, there was a hatch. And I would literally climb down a little ladder. There was a little bathroom there. I would wash up, go to the bathroom, get right back on the roof. I literally never left the roof. Because I'm insane.
A little bit. So now, going from morning DJ, which, by the way, that's the most amazing way to get a job ever. Of like, yeah, I just showed up and then they called me. Like, that's everyone's sort of dream of like, oh yeah, they thought I was cool.
That's kind of how I got into comics.
That's what we're going into. How do we make that jump from radio to radio, schmadio? Hey, comics is where it's at.
Right. 2001, my wife and my infant son and I moved to Portland, Oregon, so my wife could take a job. I didn't have a job, had been a morning DJ. Radio was dying. And we were living in Portland, which at the time had the highest unemployment rate in the country, believe it or not. And so we decided I would stay home with the kid because childcare is ridiculous. And my wife would work, and I'd try to find a job.
Yeah, taking care of children is ridiculous.
No, the money, you're not a good person. I can tell that about you. Anyway, so I told her I've always wanted to write comics. I'd like to give that a shot, and she said, "Great, very supportive wife." And at the time, Devil's Due had just launched their G.I. Joe series. They were literally at issue number 2. picking up from the Marvel run, which had been my Bible as a kid. Like, I was a G.I. Joe fanatic. So I contacted Devil's Due and I said, if I sent you a sample script, would you read it? And they went, okay. So I wrote a 2-part script, sent it in. A few months later, they contacted me and said, so about your script. And I was like, yeah, we'd like to buy it. And so they bought my 2 issues that went in G.I. Joe Frontline, which was an anthology series, between Larry Hama between Dan Jolly and Sean Jurgens, I think, is where I ended up. Pretty good, right?
That's pretty legit.
We're having a writer's meeting about my 2-part story, and they say, now, when are you going to write the other 2 parts? And I said, what? And they said, it's a 4-part story, right? Yes, it is. So I wrote a 4-part story, got called in to do dialogue on another issue of Frontline, and then I ended up with the main G.I. Joe series, and I've worked in comics ever since.
And do you get any sort of creative control of those characters? I mean, like, I know at the end of the day, you kind of have to put them back in the box the way you found them.
You do. It varies. I mean, obviously it launched this career of licensed comics for me where I've had varying amounts of leeway. One thing I did in G.I. Joe that was kind of a prolific moment, I guess, of my run was that I put General Hawk in a wheelchair. He got shot, got paralyzed, and I kid you not, I had a meeting with Hasbro about this, and the licensing guy said, I want to make sure that we're handling this in a tender fashion and dealing with this seriously. Like, we want you to not, you can't change his code name to Wheels or anything. And I laughed, and he didn't laugh. And I was just like, oh, wait, you're serious? No, we're still going to call him Hawk. Wheels? I mean, really? You said that, not me.
I'm surprised they didn't make a Hawk in a wheelchair action figure.
Well, it's funny in G.I. Joe the movie, which is awful. There's a scene where Hawk's in a wheelchair, and it's a fake out. Like, he gets up, because he's trying to leave the movie. But
that would be a spoiler alert if anybody saw the movie.
No risk. And I thought, okay, maybe that's a nod to me putting him in a wheelchair. Or, I get the impression they didn't read the comics before they made that movie, but, whatever. I'm not bitter.
No, not at all.
No, taste me. I'm not bitter.
No.
Let's.
Yeah, that was weird for me too.
Okay.
Sorry. And you mentioned getting the name Vance Astro from an early comic.
Yep.
What would be your earliest comic memory?
I know what my first comic was. It was Star Wars #1.
Oh.
Which, licensed book, you think back on that. But 1977, I was 4 years old, and it all started with Star Wars. And here we are.
And it seems to be going well for you, I would say. I mean,
it's going okay.
We're seeing it work out. I mean, we got 2 pages on the Wikipedia. You get 2 pages on the Wikipedia, you've made it.
That's a lot of lies. A lot of half-truths, I think. No, I mean, it's been good. I've been made into a G.I. Joe figure. I've been working for DC. About to have a Dr. Fate story come out. And Dr. Fate, that's my guy.
Right.
It could be Dr. Fate version 12. I think it is Dr. Fate version 12. I don't even know anymore. But it doesn't matter because it's the dude in the helmet and the cape and the thing and the pudding pops. And
he's a doctor.
And he's a doctor.
Right.
A doctor of fatology.
Yeah. That's not an easy degree to get.
Community college. Night classes. Easier than you'd think.
Sounds like too much work for me.
Oh, listen.
Yeah. So we know what's next comic-wise for you, but are there any titles or properties on there? What have you not gotten to do yet that you really want to?
Hold on. Is that Turtle from Entourage?
Could have been.
I don't know.
Turtle.
It was Schlubby, so...
Well, you're going to have to be a little more specific.
Okay, so, yeah. Schlubby at a comic book show. What's this?
Unusual.
Is this Bizarro World? Anything I haven't done that I want to do?
Yeah.
My ultimate dream goal.
Bring it.
ROM Space Knight.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't see much happening with it. Call them up, make it.
Hasbro owns ROM. And no activity that I'm aware of. I've spoken to Hasbro about ROM. I've spoken to publishers about ROM. And nothing doing. I want ROM. I want ROM. Everybody, I want ROM. Come on, I want ROM. He's just staring at me blankly like I murdered someone.
He's a cameraman. He just pushes a button.
Okay, fine. Listen, ROM Space Knight. I waited years and years to do superheroes, which I'm doing now with the Mighty Crusaders and Dr. Fate and all of that. I want to do more superheroes. More superheroes. Right, yeah,
Awesome.
no, let's not even try.
No.
It's
It's
a wasted effort.
It's up here.
That's good, I like that. That's okay. And I'd like to do a children's book.
Oh.
Something all ages. Captain Carrot. I'd like to do Captain Carrot.
And his nefarious enemy, Onion Man. Sorry, I'll be over here.
Are you fronting on Captain Carrot?
No, I'm just being...
And his amazing zoo crew? Exclamation point. I'm a man without a country here. Captain, anyone? Captain with the ears and the... These people are looking at me like I'm a mad Captain Carrot, the rat.
Too young.
All drunk.
Oh, totally. You come to a con, you got to get drunk.
You smell of liquor.
Sir, I should hope so. I've had enough of it.
Okay. All right. I'm comfortable. You do your thing. I'm just going to stare in the camera.
For folks who want to get a hold of you, check out more of what you do, where you do it. What is the best way you would recommend?
I'm on the Twitter at the @Jerwa, Jerwa. I tweet a lot. Like, what? This guy's nodding. Now he's hip to it. He's like, yeah, he's being self-effacing. I got his back on that one. You can find me on Facebook, BrandonJerwa.com, which I do not update. It is completely lacking in information. Wikipedia, apparently very well equipped.
A very nice picture, too.
You know, I like that picture.
That's a good...
I take a lot of crap for that picture, but I think I look handsome.
Yeah, it's a little Michael Chiklis, The Shield kind of vibe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely. Yeah. It was good.
Can we just hang out and you can just drop stuff like that on me all day?
Done.
Oh, this is good. I like this.
Excellent.
I feel like I've come home.
Well, you do live in Seattle.
Oh, yeah. I guess I'm kind of here, huh?
With that said, thank you so much for coming by. We look forward to more Backroom Comics podcast. That's all I'm doing.